My name is David J. Brown and I'm the CEO of V Interactive. We're here today to launch V Japan, our latest venture in Asia. We're delighted to be at the embassy and to have such a fantastic venue to launch a business in this region. V Interactive is a software company. We now have over 4,500 clients, 450 staff and offices in 18 countries. And I have to say the most exciting opening to date is Japan. The company has only been selling its services for about 39 months, so just over 3 years, so it's a fairly rapid growth story. We are headquartered in London. We have expanded across Europe with offices in Paris, Amsterdam, Berlin, Munich and so on, and also the Nordics. We of course were established in the US as well, very shortly after London. And now we are working across Asia to make sure we can bring a high quality service to Asia. Japan, I think, from a European perspective is sometimes overlooked. Sometimes there's perhaps a bit more fear than even operating in other Asian businesses, because Japan is so individual and so different to so many other Asian territories where trade would normally exist. There is, I believe, a common fear in Western businesses to enter the Japanese market because we feel it's more Asian than Asia, the most Asian of Asian countries, and much more of a challenge. But I also think, as a British person, I appreciate and identify with the individualism that Japan has. It's an individualism that I wish our own country could retain as strongly as Japan has. So we're enormously excited to be here. I'm excited personally on a cultural level. I'm very excited on an economic level because there seems to be so much potential within such a technology-savvy market as Japan. Establishing in Japan, I don't think I would have undertaken the task without strong local leadership. Clearly there are many steps to go through, and Japan, because it's so different to so many other cultures, it is a bit of a challenge from the West to come to Japan and understand the situation and the requirements. But again, the local leadership and strong local partners and knowledge has made that relatively easy. I think if we tried to open here as a foreign entity, simply coming to Japan for the first time and looking around, I think it would have been very, very complicated. So I think using UKTI, the embassy, using the local knowledge that's here in order to establish partnerships to facilitate smooth opening is probably the best way to go, especially in such a dynamic and such a different market as Japan. We've been delighted to have such strong, intelligent partners here because we're able to listen to them to understand how we need to modify our technology to serve the consumers to match the way the Japanese consumer behaves. So it's very much a two-way learning exchange, really. There's one thing this market does a lot better, indisputably, is the mobile market. And luckily, the Japanese people's addiction to the telephone has meant that the innovation here has been vastly superior to so many other places in the world. And so, as V Interactive, we're listening to that technology, we're looking at it, and we're making changes to our own products to make sure we can capitalise on the advancements that have been made here and we can spread them around the world. So it is a two-way street for us. From a British perspective, I think there is a certain expectation in particularly Southeast Asia, Hong Kong, Singapore, that a certain amount of Englishism will be accepted and will be the norm. Japan, however, I believe on a simple language cultural basis is not always the choice, certainly for European businesses. But really the challenges when you come down to it are simply about language, local knowledge, local leadership. For British companies particularly, it's just about facing those simple local leadership, partnership challenges, not being worried about language so much. Once those barriers are removed, it's a territory that's ready and welcoming to do business.